Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and here's a headline from Cointelegraph, which has just been crapping all over XRP for about a decade at this point. Here's the headline: XRP price fails to respond to two extremely bullish developments. Here is why. And so let me just show how they're cherry-picking data to drive a narrative because they suffer from XRP derangement syndrome over at Cointelegraph. And I know every now and then you will get the positive article about XRP from these guys because there's more than one writer. But I frequently wonder if it is a requirement, or was at some point, to actually suffer from XRP derangement syndrome and irrationally despise XRP just to get hired there. I'm very curious. I would like to know if that's actual criteria. Or if maybe some people that don't suffer from that, maybe they just slipped by somehow. Hard to know, folks. Hard to know. Also, I want to share with you commentary from the XRP community. There's an individual who says that XRP, it's not hitting what? He doesn't believe it's going to hit $27 this cycle, anywhere near there, right? Because the fundamentals, where's the proof that they're strong enough? I got some things to say about that. And not that that's all that drives the market, it sure as hell isn't, but XRP has some of the freaking strongest fundamentals and the most utility in the entire crypto asset class. So it's silly, but we'll get to it. And then there's also this headline: pundit says these are the people who will get left behind when XRP hits $10 to $100. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so let's run through this Cointelegraph article so that we can understand why we cannot have nice things. It reads as follows: the two most bullish events ever imagined by XRP advocates happened in 2025, but XRP continues to underperform the cryptocurrency market. On March 6th, XRP was listed as a candidate for the United States Digital Asset Reserve, and Ripple Labs settled a years-long complaint with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on May 8th. Okay, well, we already know what happened as far as the Trump tweet about XRP, and there's been no new developments, and so there's not like there's some high level of confidence that in any sort of meaningful way XRP is going to be a reserve asset. Not that it can't, but it's not. We already know from developments after that, it's not going to be treated the same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's sitting on a perch. That's the way that the Trump administration on down have decided to treat it, and that's their prerogative. Okay, so that's one thing. But then also, as far as the Ripple lawsuit, well, technically we're still waiting, but also that does not matter for XRP specifically. And Cointelegraph is just acting like it does. I'm not saying the market can't or wouldn't respond irrationally to that, but that is not something that is holding back XRP or causing it to do this or that. The good news that we've gotten to this point, I think that most people understand that it just doesn't matter for XRP in terms of long-term viability. And so, yeah, if we were in a moment of euphoria, I could see news like that just getting people going because it's the spark that lights the fire at that point. It just doesn't matter. But outside of that, no, it doesn't make sense. And so when they're right here, XRP continues to underperform the cryptocurrency market. Holy freaking hell. Over what time period? Did you know, if you go back to November, and this is straight up fact, like you can verify for yourself, if you look from the United States election onward, XRP is the #1 coin performance-wise in the top 100. It just is. It has beaten every single other coin. So what did they do? Because they don't want to paint that narrative. They don't want that to be true. They're Cointelegraph. They suffer from XRP derangement syndrome. Their brains are applesauce when it comes to anything having to do with XRP. So what do they write here? XRP fell 6% in the 3 months leading up to May 22nd, while overall crypto market capitalization rose 10%. Traders remain hopeful for a 45% rally to $3.50, with derivatives metrics signaling rising confidence. So what did they do here? To paint their narrative that they want to paint, because they're Cointelegraph, and the reason we cannot have nice things, they decided to change a time frame that would suit the narrative that they want to drive. Over this very short time period, which is arbitrarily chosen and does not matter, XRP had just hit a new all-time high, mind you, of $3.40. It's normal for crypto assets, including Bitcoin and ETH, to correct afterwards, go down and consolidate. It's very normal. So that's what happened. So they picked that time period after the all-time high had already fallen, and then you look over a 3-month period, oh, it's down almost 6%. Well, the rest of the market, look at this, up 10.3%. We're Cointelegraph. That's what they sound like in my head when I read their shit. That's we're Cointelegraph. Too much bullet to have Mad Max RP. Frickin' idiots. This is why we cannot have nice things. I'm telling you, folks. So it's also one of the reasons I'm very happy that I have this platform so that I can call out crap like this, because it is the stupidest thing. Why are they doing this? They're misleading anybody who takes them. Like, imagine you're new to crypto and you come in and you read this, like, oh, that doesn't sound so good. You're not helping anybody. You're cherry picking a very short time frame without broader context of what's actually going on. Because what's actually going on is XRP is outperforming. And it has been for half a freaking year. Yet we have this. So got to clean up their messes yet again. Let's move on to this one. Now, there's this post here from Greg Crypto, chart analyst. He says, here's the predicted timeline for XRP to reach $27. And so it links to an article from the CryptoBasic covering some of his analysis. Now, I just so happen to yesterday have highlighted that analysis. And for the sake of time, I won't go through the whole thing. All you need to know for the purposes of this conversation is that he's noting that if XRP performs in similar fashion to a previous market cycle, then you're going to see XRP at $27. And without me going fully through it again and saying all of my thoughts on it, I will just note that although I don't make price predictions, I don't know if that will occur, it ain't crazy. The idea of XRP following similarly and getting to $27, not crazy. It absolutely could happen. But there are people in the crypto space who do not understand what actually drives price. And I'm going to tell you, in a broad sense, what drives price. It is so obvious, in my humble opinion, which is the correct opinion. So, but here you have somebody named T who responded to eGreg Crypto, and he doesn't agree. He says, price predictions are fun, but meaningless without fundamentals. XRP at $27 is pure hopium until we see real institutional adoption and regulatory clarity. Let's focus on building utility first. Okay, that's silly for a number of reasons. First of all, XRP has some of the strongest fundamentals in the entire crypto space. XRP is the only large cap coin that literally has legal clarity. We're also now in a pro-crypto United States, so things are changing. It's going to apply to everything, not just XRP, so that's great on top of it. Institutional adoption, like what specific institutions are you referencing? Because I've shown how, broadly speaking, legacy finance getting into crypto, XRP is a part of that. I've shown institutional funds flowing into XRP, confidence from the whales out there, so on and so forth. What is he actually referencing here? What is he actually talking about? So let's focus on building utility first. Have you researched XRP? Do you not know the stuff that it does, the things it's used for? Have you read the amicus briefs filed in the SEC v. Ripple case so you can see the multiple businesses using it and how it makes their business models possible? Well, I read all of them, and I covered all of them on my channel, actually, in depth, every single one. Did you read them? What do you mean, let's focus on building utility first? And so eGreg Crypto responded and said, wait and be surprised. The same was said when XRP was 30 cents. They said $3 is a pipe dream. Folks, there are a lot of people that said that was a pipe dream. But then we went to $3.40, and we ain't done. We haven't had the parabolic blow off top with the crazy euphoria that you see that at the end of each market cycle ain't happened yet. Anyway, T responded and he said, past performance doesn't predict future returns. I analyze fundamentals, not hoping. Do you? I gotta pause. Do you analyze fundamentals? Because it sounds like you haven't done that yet. Actually, it sounds like you've not analyzed any fundamentals as it pertains to XRP. That's insane to me. If you think fundamentals is what drives this whole thing, okay, fine. You're wrong. That's not, and I'll explain what I mean by that. That's not all that drives this. Although I do believe that utility matters and will win the day. But why are you typing what you're typing if you're well informed? So it says, I analyze fundamentals, not hopium. XRP at $3 during peak retail mania. Different market conditions entirely. Show me the institutional demand metrics that support $27. And eGreg Crypto responded, it will go to $27. It's just a 10x from a current price action. Just wait and see, right? Okay. It's astonishing to me that this guy, how can he assign a precise dollar value to various fundamental attributes of the XRP ledger, which again, I don't even think he knows the fundamentals, but how can he assign that? Whatever he thinks the precise dollar figure should be, or is, in his mind is, for various fundamental attributes of the XRP ledger, and also expect the general public to unanimously agree with that and invest precisely to that dollar figure. That's how humans behave. That's how humans invest. Are you new to crypto, bro? It's nonsense. XRP has stayed in the top 10 coins by market cap for its entire existence because it does have strong fundamentals. Duh. There are only 3 coins for which that is true. Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. Those are the only 3 coins that have always lived in the top 10 by market cap. It's not a fluke. It's because of the confidence, broadly speaking, that people like me have in the assets. But you got to understand, the fundamentals have nothing to do with people chasing green candles in moments of FOMO and euphoria, which is exactly where the most impressive and life-changing price action occurs. He doesn't understand that very simple concept. So let me ask you, let's look at the biggest moments in XRP price history. The first one that comes to mind here is when XRP went from half a penny, roughly, to like 42 cents, somewhere about, in the first part of 2017. I can't remember if it was March, April, or May, but it was around there. You can look on a chart if you want to find out. But it went from about half a penny in short order to about 42 cents. Huge move. Did fundamentals increase during that time period? Is that what drove the price action of XRP? Or was it mania? Was it euphoria? Was it people chasing a green candle? What fundamentals shifted to cause immediately that price action? The answer is none. XRP was priced where it was before that big move because of all sorts of people that had confidence in it. They believed it made sense. This is a good investment. Then when it started to move a bit, more people noticed. A lot of those people presumably didn't do a damn bit of research. It's just because, it's human nature. You see something moving, I want a piece of that, FOMO, all that. And you get this excitement, it's going to go on forever. And so it went up. Okay, so that's the first big one in 2017. What happened in December 2017? Same thing. So at that point, XRP had gone back down, consolidating sideways, hovering around 20 cents for a lot of that time period. And then what happened? It rocketed up to $3.35. That's what happened in a span of about 2.5 weeks. Did the fundamentals change in that time period? Did utility increase? Oh, no, it didn't? The table had already been set, and then the market responded? Oh, okay. So then what you're saying doesn't make a damn bit of sense. This is what people just don't get. It was the same, even when XRP was under attack last market cycle. It burst from 20 something, about 20 cents, 20, 22 cents, something like that, up to 80 cents in November of 2020. Yeah, in November, it was November of 2020. And then went back down, consolidated. Now, of course, you had the SEC attack, so that negatively impacted what otherwise would have happened. But even then, but so then when that happened, did a fundamental shift happen then? No, nothing changed. The fundamentals were well known. Same thing in April of 2021 when XRP ran again. Same thing in November of 2024 when it ran again. There was no increase in fundamentals. The fundamentals in XRP have consistently gotten better for more than a decade. There wasn't something that happened then that triggered the movement, though. Duh. That's not how this works. Look, coins like XRP stick around because they do have strong fundamentals, and utility actually does matter to people like me. There's a reason I feel very comfortable holding it. But then when you get into the mania season, that is what drives the price. So his thought that it must be the fundamentals is disastrously incorrect. And I need people to be aware of that. This is a really bad take. And if you believe that, you're going to miss out on some serious opportunities. That is not how this works. Yes, XRP fundamentals matter. Yes, they are the strongest out there. And that's why people like me are here. That's probably why so many of you are listening and paying attention to XRP right now. Of course. No one's disputing that, right? But that's not the reason that you have retail mania. He does not get this very basic concept. The idea of XRP going to $27, I don't know if it's going to happen again, ain't crazy. Definitely ain't crazy. Then there's this. Pundit says these are the people who will get left behind when XRP hits $10 to $100. They're actually just referencing this post from XRP community member Barry C. And I just want to be clear here. I'm going to engage in conversation here because this is fun. I'd like to engage in civil discourse here. And I get the sense that Barry C. is obvious. To me, it seems obvious he's operating in good faith. I agree with some of what he says. And there's one very big thing on your screen right now, which I'm going to get to, which I very much do not. But I do believe that he's operating in good faith here. For everything that I've seen from the guy, I think he's operating in good faith. But I think it's fun to have, back and forth. Like, there's so much, and that's why, honestly, if you're not on X, why not? It's fun. Like, it's actually fun to engage with other people, like-minded people who are just trying to get to the truth of the matter of crypto, including XRP specifically. You can go back, you can engage with people. It's actually a really freaking awesome community. So if you're not on X, you actually are missing out on that, because that's where the community lives. You can just jump in and just actually start talking. That's all it takes. That's what I did in 2017. You can do it too, if you so choose. And so that's what he's doing here, but I love the back and forth, the sharing of ideas. And that's what's going on right here. And so Barry C. wrote, XRP has skyrocketed from 0.006 cents to $3 plus in 2017 and 2018. That's over 500x. To make the assumption that XRP could never do another 500x at any point in the future, to push this narrative that in the entirety of XRP future in crypto, that it could never see any positive price volatility, should make it very clear that anyone pushing this negativity and FUD has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. These are the same people who will get left behind when XRP hits $10, $20, $50, $100, and $1,000. Okay, so the overall tone of this particular post, I actually agree with. I get it. There's a lot of negative people out there to think that it can't do, a lot better than what it has done, especially after being attacked by the SEC. Yeah, I get on board with that. This little bit right here, that's the part I got a problem with. That's what I got a problem with. $1,000 XRP? $1,000. Look, I am Mr. XRP bull here. Like, I firmly believe it's going to be worth way more in the future than it is today. Firmly. Okay? This is not happening, folks. $1,000 XRP, unless you're talking about inflation, but then it doesn't matter. If XRP is worth $1,000 and that's what a loaf of bread costs, then who gives a damn if it's $1,000? So we're talking about purchasing power in today's dollars, right? So please, think through this with me. Please think through this with me. And again, this is not an attack at all. I believe that it does not make sense to be putting those numbers out there. It's fantasy land nonsense, and I'm just being blunt. And I want more people to know why. Just please understand this. XRP at $1,000 would be a $58 trillion market cap based on current circulating supply. So that's roughly what the United States stock market is worth today. So unless you really genuinely believe that XRP is going to be worth what all stocks in the United States are worth, then you can see quickly this is silly nonsense. But see, it gets even more impossible, actually. You know why? But once Ripple sells almost all of their XRP, which we're going to get very close to at some point in the future. We'll see how long it takes them. Could be another decade, 15 years, 20, we'll see. But understand that $1,000 XRP, that price, well, the market cap would then be more like $98 trillion. And that's nearly double the current valuation of the US stock market. And that's because, of course, the calculation for market cap, the market cap doesn't say how much money flowed into. That cash inflows are different than market cap. That doesn't show how much money has flowed into XRP, of course. It's a calculation that's simple. The market cap is the circulating supply times whatever the current market price is. Now, the circulating supply is increasing as Ripple sells XRP. So as they sell more XRP, you take a higher number and multiply it times whatever the current price is. So if you're talking about pretty much all of Ripple's XRP being out into the wild, so they hold basically none in escrow or otherwise, well, then you're talking about, at that price, about $98 trillion market cap. Again, nearly double the value of all stocks in the United States. XRP will never be worth the same as the entire US stock market. And it sure as hell won't be worth nearly double that. It's a completely absurd idea. And I'm going to keep streaming this message because I just want to live in reality. And it's not to offend anybody. I think that some people haven't thought this through. Like it's just not going to happen, folks. I mean, that's not even far off from like what all stocks are worth on the planet. Like right now, I can't remember the exact figure, but I think it's around like 120 or 130 trillion dollars for all stocks on the planet. So that'd be United States and every exchange around the world. So you're talking about XRP getting very close to that at that price level. And then if you think about XRP being worth $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, then you can see how it gets even more and more absurd. So the people screaming these things to you, they're just making crap up. They really are. Just don't fall for this. So some people are typing this stuff and it's in bad faith to get clicks and stuff. I don't get the sense that this guy is, but I think that there are a lot of people out there that just don't know any better. So it's just not going to happen. Now, the good news is the future for XRP is so freaking bright. We do not need that. If you're just patient enough and you invest enough, it absolutely, even if you're starting in 2025, it's still possible to achieve life-changing wealth in crypto, including specifically with XRP. So it's still an overall positive message. It's just that I don't want the crazy, stupid hype stuff. I just want to live in reality, because reality is already more than sufficiently exciting. And it provides more than enough opportunity for life-changing wealth. The actual reality. And fine, maybe XRP will get to $100 one day. Whether it takes 10 years or 20 years, I don't know. Maybe it will. There's enough money on the planet for that to happen. But you're talking about $1,000. Folks, it ain't happening. I mean, look here. Over 18,000 assets ranked by market cap. I mean, gold's the greatest one on the planet right now, $22.5 trillion. So, and then on top, and you can see, so like you could have cryptocurrencies that are worth, that or even more than that in today's dollar. I could see that. But keep in mind, XRP is not the only cryptocurrency also. So it's not like XRP is just going to be worth twice what the United States stock market is. And because then what? Does that mean that nobody else is investing into any other crypto, and that's how that happened? Like, come on. Even then, even that wouldn't do it. But I'm just illustrating the point further how ridiculous the concept is. And number 2 is Microsoft right now, $3.3 trillion. It's not happening. Bitcoin's number 5 right now at $2.1 trillion. Look, way more money is going to flow into the space. If you believe that, I'm with you. I get it. You're talking about $60 trillion stocks in the United States, only $3.3 trillion in crypto globally. I'm with you, folks. But when it comes to price expectations for XRP, let's chill out a little bit. Let's just live in reality, because that's definitely sufficiently exciting. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.